pact once broken, forged anew. Warlocks Waffles.
Did you want waffles?
Good morning. Dude, it's been so long since we've done the show. It feels...
When do we go live? Is it when do we do it?
What?
When do we go live?
We're live now.
Like right now?
Like currently and for the last 15 seconds. Woo! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Warlocks and Waffles. It's been a bit. I for the last few have just been playing Baldur's Gate. Which is...
I've wanted to come back and he wouldn't let me.
Junie didn't actually end up going to Gen Con. It was just like...
That was the... You know
like,
what? I'm taking this
"Please."
opportunity to tell the truth. Yeah, that was his media excuse for why I wasn't here.
Junie didn't go to Gen Con. Junie was just sitting at home wanting to do the show, and I was like, no man, I gotta play Baldur's Gate.
You shut up and you watch.
Get in the chat. Use your alternate account so that people don't know you're there. Oh man. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
Baldur's Gate is wild.
Paladin Picante, that was me in the chat.
Oh man. Baldur's Gate's a incredible game.
Really?
Having a lot of fun with it.
That's good to hear.
It came out on the 4th. So 10 days ago. I have played over 60 hours of it so far.
That's a good chunk of time,
It's
right
a
there,
good
man.
chunk of time.
That's a decent chunk of time.
I hadn't pulled it up and looked at the number of hours I had played. I assumed it was a lot. 60 is more than I anticipated.
I could see the look on your face that you were like, oh.
Are you saying that I've averaged more than 4 hours of gameplay a day since it came out? Here's the thing though. The really wild thing is I haven't played every day. There have absolutely been days where I did not play it. Which means there are...
It's just like a day of like, today was a Baldur's Gate day.
Well, I did absolutely the day or two after it came out, whatever that Saturday after it came out was, while you were at Gen Con, I definitely streamed me playing it for like 7 hours. And that was just me streaming it. I definitely hit a point where I was like, I'm tired of streaming. I'm not tired of this game. and ended the stream and then kept playing.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good game. How was Gen Con?
It was good. It was my first time being on the other side of a table. So I was working at...
Yeah, because you were exhibitor this time.
Yeah. So that was fun. Helping people get their luxury dice.
Yeah.
Somebody got their set of proposal dice, which was kind of fun.
What are
Uh,
proposal
he
dice?
he was looking at a nice set, but then he was also looking at like these little dice boxes that look like a spell book,
Uh-huh.
and he was like looking around.
Oh,
He accidentally
the
just
Elderwood Academy ones?
yes,
Mhm.
and he was looking around, and I was like, "What? Do you need help looking for a certain one or something?" And he's like, "Well, it's a little weird, but I'm proposing to my boyfriend, and a ring's gonna come in
Heck
here at
yeah.
one point, and I want to
Heck
know if
yeah.
it's gonna fit or not." So I took it from him, and I took my ring off, and I was like, "Is he bigger than me?" And I put my ring in there, and he's just like, "Thank you." And so like, so I
Dude,
was like,
I
if my
freaking
if
love
my
nerd
ring fits,
couples.
his ring's gonna fit in there. Like
That's
that's it.
awesome. I love that.
And then he was like, "Thank you so much," and he bought fancy dice and a nice little thing to put it in. So that was my fun little like highlight where I was like, I hope that person they're gonna propose to their boyfriend. It's gonna be fun. Yes.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Nerd couples are
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah. But otherwise, just I was on the con floor, so I didn't get to like see all the things. I didn't
Mhm.
get to experience Lorcana, like some other
I heard it
people.
was insane. I
People were
heard
lining up.
people were losing their minds.
People, if there was like a promo giveaway at like 10 o'clock the next day, people were lining up at 5:30 the day before.
That's wild.
Like 5:30 p.m. the day before for something,
Insane.
and like their like Elsa card is like the Charizard of Lorcana, and it's like 1,500 for a card or something like that. It's like nuts, and it's in the news. I'm not making this like there was
No,
a theft.
I
There, wa-
believe you.
th- there was a theft. Somebody took a pallet of cards and they didn't say what it was. Nobody said what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was
It's
Lorcana
gotta be Lorcana, right? If
because it was like estimated to be like I don't know if it said a lot of thousand. I don't know if it said 100,000,
yeah,
but it said a large number,
it's
and it was
either
clearly a guy running with a pallet, and I was like,
yeah, it's either Lorcana or Magic the Gathering, right? Like those are
correct,
the two that would have had extremely valuable cards at that show.
correct.
If it was Magic the Gathering, I feel like we would have heard something else about it. So to me, that means it's definitely Lorcana, and there's stuff on there that like Disney is like, don't you dare let anyone know those are gone.
Yeah, it was like clearly like like crappy security footage of like a guy
Oh, I saw
like
the pictures.
dipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It like I have a lot of friends that are exhibitors at conventions. Humble brag, I have a lot of friends.
it wasn't
I have,
even.
I have
It was
I have a lot of exhibitor friends.
humble brag.
Um,
I know more
I
than one
know
person.
more than just Junie, so like winning. No, I have a bunch of friends that are exhibitors, and so we have like a group chat that is specifically for like
Lorcana.
no like our friend group who are just exhibitors,
Mhm.
and specifically it's not all not everybody who is like in our friend group who is exhibitors. It is friend group who is in exhibitors who has worked for like specific people at Gen Con. It's a very like
That's a
it's
very
very
specific.
specific one.
That's so specific.
um but the yeah, it like that group chat was blowing up the one night because they were like, there's been a heist.
Oh, I had to like I was walking and we were just cutting through somewhere and the security guard was like sorry badges and I was with Ted from Nerd Immersion.
Hmm.
It was just like you don't have badges, you got to go. So they were going to send us around to go, and I was just like and I pulled out my badge. I don't know why I thought this would help, but and there's like, "Oh, you're an exhibitor? Do you vouch for them? We've had theft." And I was like, yeah, man, we're just trying to go to that door over there. We're just literally trying to go over there. Like,
Yeah,
okay, as
yeah.
long as you vouch for them, you can go through. And I was like, it wasn't even in the convention hall. It wasn't even like in the show
Right,
floor. It was
yeah.
like just the hallways going between hotels. And I was
Dude,
like, what the hell?
huge shout out to the people that work security for conventions.
Hmm.
Really appreciate the people who do it, because I would not want to.
Oh yeah.
But like they take the job seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's somebody had to get into some hardcore trouble. Like
Oh,
they know what
somebody got in
a pack,
so
a
much.
handful of packs, a duffel bag of packs.
Yeah,
Okay, a
like
pallet.
there's a
The guy
lot
had a
there's a
pallet
lot
jack.
of
You know what
there's
I
a
mean? He
lot of
had to.
theft that happens at conventions. Um, but like this dude got away with a pallet.
Yeah,
Like
that's yeah,
how
that's some
how
advanced stuff.
like at that point they had to have had a like an exhibitor badge or something.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
could
yeah,
we
yeah.
could speculate on this all day.
This is a
Um,
TTRPG morning
this is
show.
a TTRPG morning
This
show.
is a
This is the sort of
TTRPG. Yeah,
hard-hitting news you
yeah.
come here for.
Have you ever looked at
Um,
the Lorcana cards? I like glanced at some of them and it said like +2 to sing a song this turn, and I was like, so it's like clearly like a Disney Magic the Gathering thing, but I'm like, wait, is there actual singing involved? Like,
dude,
hold on a second.
oh
I
man.
didn't look into the rule, but it's like a real card game. Like, it's not like just like, oh, look at these fun Mickey. Like, no, this is like
Dude,
+3 to
I've
damage for
known
Mickey with a knife, and then there's Tinkerbell with a shield, and she gives you +2 to song and clapping. Like I'm like,
if
hold on, like what are the mechanics here? I don't
yeah.
understand.
This is Goofy's this is the trunk of Goofy's car. If equipped with the shovel as well, Goofy can help hide all the bodies. But yeah, I have seen Magic the Gathering fans lose their absolute minds and go absolutely feral for things. I have seen Disney fans lose their minds and go absolutely feral for things. The crossover of those
Yeah,
two, I mean,
yeah,
it
yep,
they're Disney's printing money. Like there's no way that that won't make an insane amount of money.
yeah.
Assuming the game is any good. Like
True. I don't.
they will get
I
that
just heard people
original
are like,
rush of
oh, they're trying to get the
everyone will buy
Elsa and Mickey.
everything.
Yeah. Whether or not
And
it's like actually like a playable, like people are like, oh, yo, seriously though, that Lilo card is like competitive as hell.
yeah,
So like everybody's getting the Lilo Stitch combo because it lets you recycle 3 songs, but also it's just like what? Hold on, what
dude,
the hell are you
I
talking
wanna
about?
know more about this game so bad.
I don't because I love the amount of knowledge I already have, where it's
Yeah,
just enough to go like it's a thing, but not enough to actually like
sure. Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
100%.
but yeah, this is there's a whole lot of fun things there. But we're gonna go back to something we've been doing.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Um,
So instead of anything else, we're gonna go back to how do I phrase this? Judging things critically. I mean like we I think we've been doing these rankings. We've been doing these tier rankings for
uh, Ju
creatures in
July 28th was our last one.
oh wow. That
And
was like months ago.
uh it was a little bit. July 28th, and that one was the weird one. That was the Junie's Mystery Science Creature 4000.
That
Um
was like the weird one. Oh
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
was
It was
that
the
was
weird
a
one.
weird one.
Um
I almost had that. I almost wanted to do that again today, and I forgot that like it was the literal last thing.
it was,
But can I tell you right now? Can I
we
tell you
did
what I was
that
gonna
one,
do? Or
then
you
we
wanted me
did
to surprise you with it?
uh hmm
I'll tell you right now what I was gonna do today.
what were you
And it
gonna
was
do?
I was gonna just go like, hey, don't worry, I got a list, I got a tier, I'm gonna send it to you. And I was just I was because and for everybody, the original pitch for today's episode was I was like, yo, why don't you just play Baldur's Gate 3 and literally explain anything to me? Because I know nothing. I know like
Junie
I was
was
at
like,
Gen Con,
I don't have the game, so I can't play it with you.
0 frame of
But
reference.
like
Yeah.
screen share it to me and you play and I'll just watch you play
And
Baldur's
ask
Gate.
questions. And he's like, I'm not an expert. I don't know. This is my like, did you say it's your first one? Or like,
This is the
first one
first
you're
Baldur's
diving
game
into?
I've played, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not even like it's like he has this huge background. I was like, still 100% more than I do. So then you could explain things to me, right?
For
So
me it was a like I the part that has been exciting to me is like I don't have Baldur's Gate knowledge, but I do
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just D&D knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so there's all of these like little like references and stuff that I'm like, I get that. Like the one companion, Gale, talks about how he's originally from Waterdeep, and I was like, I like Waterdeep. Volo is in
So
here.
so
Like Volo's around.
so what's crazy is you know more about D&D lore and Baldur's Gate than me. So it was gonna be you like just I was like, all right, Hunter, school me, learn me
It
something today, right?
it is
And
weird going into a game knowing more about the lore of the world of the game than I do about the
game.
game itself. Yeah, it's a weird experience. It'd be like if I was going into the new like whatever the next Elder Scrolls game is and had never played Skyrim or any of the other games, but knew all of the lore and had
All
like
the lore. Yeah.
deeply read up on like, oh, we're talking about Tiberius Septim? Oh man, it's a sordid past.
So Hunter vetoed this because he was like, I've been playing for 60 hours. I've been streaming for 70 hours. It doesn't math up. I gotta stop this. That's what he
It's
sounds like, right? It
it's
was a phone
not
call. It was like
it's not that
3 in
I
the
didn't
afternoon. It
want
was the
to.
dumbest thing. I was like, why do you sound like you've been chain smoking and haven't slept in 5 days? And he's like,
Because I haven't. I've been stuck playing this game.
in Baldur's
Um,
Gate.
uh,
So he said no.
I'm Misty stepping here.
I'm Misty stepping. Ice shank.
I'm bonus action dashing here.
Bonus action, your mom. So look, I'm gonna clip that. So look, he was like, no, let's go back to something else and not Baldur's Gate things, right?
Oh my goodness.
Cool. So my immediate defiant reaction was gonna be, all right, let's do a monster ranking thing, right? I'll do a tier ranking. I was going to just rank everything from Baldur's Gate, and
it would be fun to do a like the companions ranking or something.
Hold on one second.
What?
There's music coming from somewhere in my room, and I don't know where it's coming from. It's legitimately concerning.
I don't hear anything, so I could not help you.
Oh, my alarm clock is just playing the news. Like my phone is just playing hardcore the news, and I was just like in Bulgaria, the prime minister. I was like,
in Baldur's
am
Gate.
I crazy? Yeah, yo, seriously though, I was just like, am I dying? Am I just
said
the words from another world right now?
You absolutely said something that your phone. You absolutely said something about Baldur's Gate that your phone picked up and said, "Now
That's
playing news about Bulgaria."
Sorry about that.
Oh man. But yeah, welcome to the stream, everybody.
Oh, shit, we're live.
You piece of shit. Oh man. We are going back to our monster ranking bit that we've done a couple of times here. It feels like we've done it more times than we have to me. Because we did celestials, plants and elementals. And then we did your nonsense one. Junie presents Mystery Science Creature 4000.
And that was like 3 different lists.
That was a lot of lists, and all of them were really weird.
One of them was a full Power Rangers.
One of them was just Power Rangers, which honestly was my favorite. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch the Mystery Science Creature 4000 episode, because I know nothing about Power Rangers, so about half that episode is just Junie pitching me different Power Rangers monsters. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It made me want to watch.
There's a pumpkin that raps at you aggressively.
It made me want to watch Power Rangers. Okay. So, Junie.
Yes.
We're making our favorite Lorcana cards.
This is our Lorcana fan fiction.
I know nothing about it. I could not participate. So it would just be like, yeah, I like the
It
Emperor
would be
Cusco
us making
card.
up what we think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, so look, this Aladdin card is +3 to clap, right?
Emperor Cusco is an OP card, but I guess it kind of balances out because if you throw off his groove, he doesn't have anything.
Holy
Um,
crap, that's really good. Oh, that sounds legitimate because I did see something about a Cusco card. Like, I keep getting the newsfeed stuff.
dude, I feel like I have enough Disney knowledge that I could easily rattle off a bunch of cards and they like just making assumptions about what they could be and would probably be relatively accurate. Um, Junie, what monster type are we doing today?
Today we're doing aberrations. If you don't know what aberrations are,
I love them so much.
it's a big old cosmic what if. It's like let's just see here. If you it's just they're wrong. Like it's monstrosities and aberrations kind of like they have this there's a little bit of overlap, but it is just it is a what if that shouldn't happen. Um
They're a little bit alien usually. They're
yeah,
most of them are like really kind of upsetting. Like there's they usually have some sort of ability to them that is like why? So yeah,
like
I
chaos and curiosity with like a
yeah,
dash of otherworldly
yeah.
nonsense in
Like
there.
Cthulhu would be an aberration.
Mhm.
A very very powerful aberration, and like he's obviously like a deity and stuff, but like an aberration nonetheless. Nonetheless, it's a morning.
That's all that
Um,
Baldur's Gate.
it's all that
Uh,
Baldur's Gate, man.
but here's the thing. I know whenever I describe aberrations, because monstrosities are like things that were made, right? Or like combined, or like I
I
think that's
believe
that
that is
flavoring differentiating
the
thing.
original lore. Is a monstrosity is something that was like
Bread
originally
created.
created
Yeah.
through either like magic or like engineering or breeding,
With
like that sort of
with
stuff.
with aberrations, it's one of those things where if you've ever seen something and you just this isn't like to be funny, it's you just like that's wrong.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's a combination of things where you're just like, it is wrong, and my brain is having trouble processing it. And for some people that is scary. The unknown, the unexplained, that is the scary thing. So like aberrations are like horror fodder because you can really use them in a way where it's like it is wrong to you, and then you put it in the context of like
Hmm.
you have to define what it like. You don't have to get too descriptive. You just go, it is wrong.
Right.
It has mouths where it shouldn't be, and it looks like it's supposed to be there, and it upsets you. Like it's just
Yeah.
it is not right. Um and you could let somebody go with that, and that it's just like, all right, how wrong does it need to be for oh no, and then they'll do the mental like horror load in a second. But the first one, if we're going alphabetical here, the first one's an aboleth that we have here. This is this thing just looks like it's from the Mariana Trench, which everything looks foreign and otherworldly and stuff like that, dude, because we don't see it.
Yeah.
But it is this is like if
The out of the list
yeah.
of things that are on like that we're gonna go over today from this list, the aboleth to me looks the most like something that like might be somewhere in our ocean and we just don't know.
I apparently have never looked at an aboleth stat block.
Dude, the aboleth is freaking
Yo, the
intense.
first thing I
Yeah.
saw was enslave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, what? Okay, so
So
wait. Here's something I'm gonna to completely throw you off. Have you ever seen realistic Pokemon?
no.
If you Google realistic Pokemon, what you will see is a bunch of like nightmare creatures. You're
Okay.
like, oh, Bulbasaur, oh, Blastoise, like, but if you Google realistic Pokemon, it's like, all right, well, if this was a giant snapping turtle with cannons on its back, this is what it
Uh-huh.
would look like. They're horrifying. This looks like a realistic Pokemon. Like there is a Pokemon that is kind of like an eel thing, like this, and
Uh-huh.
this looks like if somebody was like, "What if it wasn't cute?
Yeah.
What if it was a nightmare and could enslave you?"
Yeah.
And all the thing with I don't know if it's all aberrations. They're smart.
Yeah. So the Aboleth has an 18 intelligence. They're very smart. They have a natural armor class of 17. They have a speed of 10 feet, but they have a swim speed of 40. They are usually in the water. They are amphibious though, so if you try and run, they can follow you onto the land if needed to.
Or
Um,
floppy.
some very interesting abilities of Aboleth. They have a mucus cloud. While underwater, the Aboleth is surrounded by transformative mucus. A creature that touches the Aboleth or that hits it with a melee attack while within 5 feet of it must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failure, the creature is diseased for 1d4 of hours. The diseased creature can breathe only underwater.
Holy crap. Wait, is that kind of good?
It is unless they are like put like back onto land.
I guess, but imagine Ablith as like a quest giver.
Mm.
It's
Where
just
it
like
like
I need
gives
you.
you some of its mucus.
Yeah, it's just like I need you to do this. It's just like, well, we can't go to that temple. It's underwater. It's just like, come over here for a second, and they
Hmm.
slap you, right? They just dunk you. They baptize you. They essentially wrap your head up and dunk you, and then you're just like you're under there for too long. You're like, I'm drowning. Wait, I can breathe. It's just
Hmm.
like, yeah. Now you have 24 hours to like. No, you have 1d4 hours
Hmm.
to go do this, or you will die.
Yeah.
That's who.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. They have a tentacle attack that is a +9 to hit. They have 10-foot reach on it. Does good damage. If the target is a creature, it also has to make a constitution saving throw or become diseased. Disease has no effect for 1 minute and can be removed by any magic that cures diseases. After 1 minute, the diseased creature's skin becomes translucent and slimy. The creature can't regain hit points unless it is underwater, and the disease can only be removed by heal or another disease curing spell of 6th level or higher. When the creature is outside a body of water, it takes it takes a d12 of acid damage every 10 minutes unless moisture is applied to its skin before 10 minutes have passed.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah, it's
This is a
absolutely
nightmare.
horrifying.
That's
Um,
real. That's like a corruption. Oh my
yeah, yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah.
But it's not the same as the mucus cloud, because I guess
Uh,
the mucus cloud is just like you're and it's like you're tasting. It's like what's coming off of it. But then if you get the tentacle strike, it's on you now. Like
yeah,
you've made contact.
yeah. It also has, and you pointed this out, enslave, which can do 3 times per day.
And
The
then there is no limit as far as if you have these things exist, like, oh, this thing's been around for years, it can do this
Yep,
3 times a day. It's not like it can only have 3 or it can only have X amount.
yep, it can do it three
It's
times per day.
and it's loyal until
Um,
the people are loyal until it dies or it goes to a different plane of
It has to make
existence.
a wisdom saving throw or magically be charmed by the aboleth until the aboleth dies or until it is on a different plane of existence from the target. Charmed target is under the aboleth's control and can't take reactions, and the aboleth and the target can communicate telepathically with each other over any distance. Whenever the charmed target takes damage, the target can repeat the saving throw. On a success, the effect ends. No more than once every 24 hours. The target can also repeat the saving throw when it is at least 1 mile away from the aboleth. So I had an aboleth as the like end fight of a dungeon the one time,
Mhm.
and the entire like dungeon was inhabited by oh, what are they called? Sagwin, is that what they're called?
Okay.
The like fish
Mhm.
things
Yes, 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 yes.
that it had like enslaved, and they were like its guardians throughout the dungeon. So they were just all like moving around in there, and the whole time my party was going through, they're like fighting these things, and there was one time where they like hit it and it made it save on like to no longer be under the effects of this thing, and they like hit it and it went, what, whoa, whoa, no, 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 and then they like hit it again and it died. Um, it was a I love an aboleth. They have some very good abilities that make them very good boss for the end. They also have legendary actions. Anytime something has a legendary action, I'm a fan. They have three different legendary actions. The first one is detect, so we can just make a perception check as a legendary action. The next one is tail swipe. It makes one tail attack, and then it has psychic drain, which costs two actions. One creature charmed by the aboleth takes 3d6 psychic damage, and the aboleth regains hit points equal to the damage the creature takes. You will
This
notice
is terrible.
there is no distance on that.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it like with that dungeon that I was talking about, this is what it kept using its legendary actions for. It
Yeah.
was in that final fight, it was just draining
From
life
somewhere. Yeah.
from one of its creatures that was elsewhere in the dungeon that the players just didn't find. Um,
This is what what I love about this, and it definitely does one thing that we that always makes things rank higher for both of us
mhm,
is like, all right, it's got a good stat block, it's got like fodder, you can use this, but it has that extra story fodder where if you
yes.
want to use it, you can. And layer actions, cool. It doesn't cast any spells aside from a layer action that allows it to cast Phantasmal Force. So it's not a
Mhm,
spellcaster. It's like, there's this trend where it's like, okay, if something does magic, it does magic. If it doesn't, it's psychic and it's like magic, but it's
mhm,
not. So like the psychic vampire part is like, okay, it can corrupt you, it can, it
yeah.
can psychic stuff, but the lore, it manages to compile a lot of lore in this like
In a
bottom
very
paragraph
yeah,
thing.
a very
um
compact section.
and it's one of those that it is able to accomplish a lot with a little. And you can tell from its stat block and its picture the things that it gives you in depth in the stat
Mhm,
block. So this is already going to rank real high to me, but like
yeah,
it is from the elemental plane of water,
mhm,
which is like, oh, you're like, oh, is it from the abyss or something? It's from the abyss of the water
yeah,
plane. And
yeah,
apparently if they die, they just go back.
yeah,
So they have crazy memories. Now, the
yes,
one thing that is so interesting whenever it's something like this is how do they get around? You know what I mean? Like, oh, are there like, are the planes softer? Are they traveling there? Do they get somebody else to open that? But the one thing that is so tricky with this one is it can amass an army. It
mhm,
can have a bunch of minions, but if it leaves, it loses them.
mhm,
And it's this weird thing where it can amass this whole stuff, it can have its own domain, but does it want to go expand? Does it want to go
right,
do this? Unless it's a purpose, and you can determine that, you can have it fit whatever plot you want to do.
mhm,
But it's that little caveat of if it changes the plane of existence it's on, it loses its followers,
yep,
is like such a big thing, because it's just like you have to have stumbled into its territory, you have to be where it is,
yep.
uh or otherwise it came here and it started amassing,
Well,
but then it might not be, as rolling deep as it could have been. It's just there's a lot,
and
there's a
a
whole lot you
very
can do.
important one, like a very important distinction here is like because of that specific wording on there, um, you said it goes back to the elemental plane of water. It couldn't make and like it couldn't spend a ton of time there amassing an army and then come to attack. It would need
Correct.
to come back and then start amassing its army, because if it tries to amass the army on the elemental plane of water and then go over, it is either having its army go first or it's going first, and either way
Yeah.
it will be on a different plane than its army, and so it will immediately lose it. So
Correct.
it would need to come here, find a lair, and then start luring people in and amassing that army.
Correct. Yep.
Which
There's a whole lot.
a
Yeah.
an amazing quest would be like you hear tells of some grand treasure or something like that lost in a forgotten lake deep underground or something like that, and you go out there and it turns out that that quest is something the aboleth has like put out there to
get
lure
people to
to
come.
lure
Yeah.
people to that
Mhm.
location.
Yeah.
And then they're just like dominating those people as they go.
They're challenge ranking
Um,
10. They're not like they're
yeah,
not
they're
they're
not
not
weak.
easy. Yeah.
Um, I wanna point out a line here that I really like, which is before the coming of the gods, aboleths lurked in primordial oceans and underground lakes. They reached out with their minds and seized control of the burgeoning life forms of the mortal realm. Their dominance made them like gods. Then the true gods appeared, smashing the aboleths' empire. Aboleths have never forgotten. That's
This is
great.
this is
Like these
interesting.
are creatures that were gods and had that taken away from them. Um,
Th- this also what's interesting about that little bit of flavor text is it gives it an ability that isn't in the stat block, in that nowhere does it say it can reach out outside of its domain to with its psychic influence. You know what I mean? This
mm-hmm,
is saying it was reaching into the mortal plane and doing corruption, and then the gods kind of whatever. So imagine then it is like not a patron in that it's giving you power, but
mm-hmm,
it is corrupting and getting people on its side without using its ability. So when it does come, it already has people
yeah,
because they've already whispered in their ear enough,
mm-hmm.
type of thing. That's a whole thing. Are we putting this at like a solid
I mean, this
C,
this
B?
is a this is an S tier for me. I
Yeah,
mean, you've
yeah,
got eternal memories. They have flawless memories. They pass their knowledge on
yeah,
from generation to generation. Thus, the injury of their defeat by the gods remains perfectly preserved in their minds. Treasure churros of ancient lore, recalling moments from prehistory with perfect clarity. Gods in the lake. They dwell in watery environments, including oceans, deep lakes, elemental plane of water. Like they are insane. They use their telepathic powers to reach the minds of creature and know their desire. And Aboleth uses their knowledge to gain a creature's loyalty, promising to fulfill such wants in exchange for obedience. Enemies of the gods.
yeah.
Like they ultimately Aboleth's dream of overthrowing the gods and regaining control of the world. Aboleths have had untold eons to plot and to prepare their plan for perfect execution. They also have both lair actions and regional effects, which I think is very cool. Like there's a lot of creatures have lair actions but might not have regional effects. And I
Hmm.
really like the regional effects. The one that jumps out to me is as an action, the aboleth can create an illusory image of itself within 1 mile of its lair. The copy can appear in any location the aboleth has seen before, or in any location a creature charmed by the aboleth has currently seen, or can currently see. Once created, the image lasts for as long as the aboleth maintains concentration, as if concentrating on a spell. Although the image is intangible, it looks, sounds, and can move like the aboleth. The aboleth can sense, speak, and use telepathy from the image's position as if present at the position. If it takes any damage, it disappears. Which is like that's just a very cool thing. Like,
Yeah. They're
imagine
they're
you
there,
are
but they're not there.
yeah,
It's
it
nuts. Yeah.
it reminds me of like fights in like horror movies where they end up at a carnival and then they're in the like house of mirrors and they're like going through and there's like somebody standing there taunting them and they like break the mirror and they just weren't there.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe that I get, and you could so easily have this like aboleth that is just moving around inside of its lair because it knows that lair inside and out, so it can go anywhere in there
Yeah.
and see and hear and talk as if it is like this aboleth. Like there's so much you can do here. Like it is wild that there's not like more stuff out there for like aboleths of like why is there's so much good lore here. Why isn't there
There
a
is.
storyline about
Th-
like
There is,
an
because
there
I'll tell you
is
what. Well, I'll tell you what. If you follow the breadcrumbs, I just went to Chull, which is the next creature on the list, right?
Mhm.
it almost exclusively talks about aboleths in its whole flavor text underneath it. It says like, hey, it's amphibious, got a sense magic, multi-attack, blah blah blah. But look, these survivors of an ancient aboleth empire.
Mhm.
Chulls are crustaceans, the aboleth modified and endowed with sentience. And then everything else has to do something with their ties to the aboleth.
Yeah.
And if they ever encounter one again, they go back to their old role.
Yeah.
And it's like this creature is
Aboleth's rule of
only
a vast
this only
empire.
serves this only serves as like aboleth foot soldier
Yeah.
like fodder there. So it's just like I feel like if we were to go into anything else that and it's like everything's gonna like almost sprinkle into aboleth and it's just gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this owes it to this, and then you piece together this crazy story, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it just talks about this empire that exists.
Well,
And it's
and
nuts.
but that's what I'm saying. Like there's
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
so much awesomeness that is built around aboleths. Why don't we have a storyline in the like core stories about aboleths? Like that'd be incredible.
Like
And it
about
could
about one
be
that's finally making its move, you know what I
right.
mean? It's
Like
just like it's
if
like
they
it
have had
remembered.
these eons to like plot and plan, let's have a let's do it. Let's have a like a module about it. And it could be that there is like stuff on that in one of the modules and I just haven't read it, but like there's so much possible lore here that like I love it.
So yeah, Aboleth is going to be up there. Where would we rank its like foot soldier? Where would we put the Chul? Where would we put
So
like
let's
yeah.
go over it, right? It's a
Mhm.
large creature,
Mhm.
which is awesome. It's freaking terrifying. It's a like insectoid looking crab clawed like reptile creature with mind flare tentacles, like horrible.
Mhm.
Hate it. Love
Yeah.
it. It's great.
Not yeah.
I can breathe air and water. Understands deep speech but can't speak, which is interesting. There's not as many creatures that speak deep speech, and so like I love that. They can sense magic innately, within 120 feet of itself at will. This trait otherwise works like the detect magic spell, but itself isn't magical, so it's just like sensing those magic energies. It has claw attacks. It has and a tentacle attack. If you are grappled by the tentacle attack, you are poisoned. The poison is a paralyzing poison, which is very intense for a creature at this level. Let's see here. They've got good lore about the aboleths. They've got
Great
um
Aboleth support, yeah.
yeah, perfectly obedient. They collect sentient creatures and magic at the aboleth's commands. So like you have like a fishing town or something like that where it's just abandoned because these things have just ran out in like droves and captured everyone and brought them back to the aboleth. Like oh man.
Strong,
Whatever.
hardy, but not smart. And they're just like they follow orders.
Yeah.
They're just following orders on this one.
Rumors and ancient maps sometimes lure treasure seekers to these ruins, but the reward for their boldness is death. Whatever riches that the explorers bring with them is added to the hoard guarded by the Chulls. Chulls can sense magic at a distance. The sense coupled with an innate drive that leads them to slay explorers, take their gear, and bury it in secret locales aboleths dictated eons ago. So, like, you could also have like these Chulls that are still carrying out these
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
orders and have
Yeah.
been like stockpiling stuff for generations. And the
You
aboleth is like long dead, but these things are still carrying out these original orders. Like if your party's not at the level of like being able to like take on an aboleth directly, give them these things that are stockpiling treasure. Give them that treasure and put a thing in the treasure that's like tied to an elder aboleth or something like that that is like they touch it and now they are known by this other creature and so it knows that they are like stealing from this this horde. Like that's
Sounds good.
there's
Yeah, that's
so
good.
much you could do with this. um I love this. I think this is a very cool creature. I don't think it has as much as the Aboleth, but to me that is an A class creature. Like there's
I've used this more as like I need a scary water monster.
Mhm.
I need a scary crab thingy.
Yeah, and
So
they are
I've never dived into the other aspects of it.
sure.
It was more like a surface level. I need something with claws.
Mhm. Well, and I mean
What's in the right thing?
they have
Yeah,
a an equal swim and movement speed. So like
yeah, it's scary.
if you
Yeah,
get
real
out of
scary.
the water, you can be like, "Oh, okay, they're water creatures. Let's get out of the water and run." And they just get up and keep chasing
They,
you.
they got
Like,
four legs. They got four legs.
yeah.
They can really skitter. Ooh, they
Um
skitters. Ooh,
they do skitters. Um but yeah, I would put them at an A. Where are you thinking?
I would be okay with an A or B, because I know I've used it as just like it's just a monster,
Mhm.
but it gives you that extra that if you want
It
to
is
use it,
it is
you
a
don't, and it's
good
not a
on
slave
its
to
own monster.
correct because it's not just a slave to the aboleth.
Mhm.
You can use it in that. No, I'm not putting an aboleth in my story, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
But this could be a good excuse for me to like drop some magic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's a squirrel where it's like it just knows in the back of its head, it knows that it is like instinctually, I have to store these nuts, and
Mhm.
it's just gonna store those magic items. So it could have
I like that
stored any
concept.
magic item.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just it knows it has to, even if it's forgotten why it's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's going to store those magic items.
And
So you
those could
could
be lower level magic items that like other
correct.
adventurers have brought. They could
Correct.
be like artifacts and stuff that have been like
Yep.
long
It's
lost.
been there for a
Like
long time, or
this is
it just so happens. Yeah.
a horde like this is the like it would be so easy to give your like if you want to start some terrifying quest line of
Correct. Yeah.
the Eye of Vecna or something like that
Yeah.
was like lost and brought here.
And it just
Um
happened to be in this chill pile. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's
Well,
like it gives you that freedom of like you can use it
there's
real
so
crazy,
much.
or you could
Yeah.
use it as like I just want to give them some boots and a bag. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It
It's
cannot be
versatile.
insane, and because it has that like open-endedness, I could just use it as a crab monster, but it also gives me like I can drop more loot than I would. That's what brings it up in my
Right.
mind. So
It
an
gives
A is cool for me.
it gives you the ability to drop like a dragon's lair type situation because they are specifically creatures that hoard items,
Hmm.
which is not super common in monsters.
Hmm.
So if you want to be able to drop a like a dragon's lair type situation where you're like, I want my players to get some magic items before they go into this next part, this is a great way to do it. Okay, so I'm comfortable with A. Are you comfortable with A?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think this is going to be one of the ones where we're going to have to split it in half because I'm really looking at the next one, which is Cloaker, and I'm like, I feel like we're going to have words about this one.
I
We're gonna have to cut this episode in half,
I feel
because
like we yeah, there but some of the remaining ones I feel like are gonna be quick.
I don't know. I got words about Gibbering Mouther, and Nothic is one of those. It's got juicy. I don't know
Do
nothing
you
about the Ontyug, so I don't know about that one.
yeah,
But I feel like Spectator, we're gonna accidentally talk a lot about. I'm gonna have words about Gibbering Mouther, and Nothic just kind of does pack a lot of
yeah.
like flavor that you could use. But anyway,
Well,
um,
let's do this.
mhm.
Um I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
Uh
okay. I was just saying,
let's
like,
let's
based off of what we've done so far,
what
like
we've
I'm like,
are the speed we've moved so far, we need to pick up pace if we're gonna finish them. Um let's just dive in. If either of us need to go,
yeah,
we'll
yeah, yeah,
wrap it
yeah.
up. We'll pick it up next time.
Okay.
But yeah, the cloaker is the next one, which is a terrifying looking creature. Like it is horrifying to me. I don't like anything about the way the cloaker looks.
This is its
What?
first ability. Read its first ability.
Uh,
Damage transfer. It has an ability called damage transfer, and I'm um there's unless there's something else that okay, hold on.
very cool.
But okay, so here's the thing.
What?
damage transfer says while attached to a creature, the
Hmm.
cloaker takes only half damage when dealt to it, rounded down, and that creature takes the other half.
Yes.
There's nothing that
There is. So
is it in the bite?
in the
Is it
bite,
in okay, okay. I was about to
if the
say.
target is large or smaller, the cloaker attaches to you. The cloaker has advantage against the target. If the cloaker has advantage against the target, the cloaker attaches to the target's head, and the target is blinded and unable to breathe while the cloaker is attached. While attached, the cloaker can make this attack only against the target and has advantage on the attack roll. The cloaker can detach itself by spending 5 feet of its own movement. A creature, including the target, can take its action to detach the cloaker by succeeding on a DC 16 strength check.
Okay.
So if the
So
cloaker is attached to you, it also gains the damage transfer ability, which is that it only takes half damage to any
yeah.
damage that is dealt to it, and instead you take the other half of that
And
damage.
it's like and for anybody that doesn't have a cloaker in front of them, what it looks like, it's imagine just a normal looking stingray, right? Imagine a stingray, but then you put the face of an angry turtle, maybe, I guess would be a way to say it.
Yeah, an angry
But
turtle with teeth.
like
Uh,
out of the mouth of a stingray. So imagine where a stingray's mouth would be, where it's like a little flap, it's like boop, boop, like a
yeah,
magic carp, right?
yeah,
But instead of that, it's an angry turtle. It's like, "Meh," and it's got a lot of teeth.
yeah. And then
Also,
imagine
it's got a serrated thorn tail.
Yeah,
Like
I was
it's
gonna
just
say
like,
imagine a thorn whip, and
yeah,
like that's what its tail looks like.
yeah, like, but
Um,
still like cool in that like it doesn't look like out of place. Like it
right.
looks like it is just kind of it has a barbed tail, which is
Yeah,
I think the way to put it. Like
yeah.
it has a barbed tail, not like a scorpion.
I also
Um,
like that the
yeah,
edges of its sort of like
yeah,
fins
yeah.
are like kind of tattered. It looks like a tattered cloak. And that's just cool art direction for me.
This is something I know I've done and I know other people have done where like this is more of like a monster hunter creature where
Mm,
it is like this is a material component. It's like, oh, I'm trying to make a something or other and
yeah.
we need a cloaker for its skin.
Hmm.
But as this one is neutral. The other ones we've discussed have been evil, like
Yes.
chaotic or lawful evil.
It is a neutral
This
creature. I
this one is a hunter. This is like a
Yeah.
spider. This is like an ambush
Yeah.
predator. It's not dumb. It's 13 intelligence,
It's
but
not
it
dumb at
is like
all.
it's just trying to like obviously there's going to be like but they're predators. The
Hmm.
opportunistic predators is one of their descriptions, and this is one of those creatures where it's like just like a smart tiger, a smart underwater tiger. Like that's
Absolutely.
how I yeah.
And when I first saw this, I assumed water creature. This is not a water creature. It
Correct.
doesn't have a swim speed. It has a fly speed. So these things
Correct.
are like flying through the air more like
Yep.
bats than
Yep. It
stingrays.
yeah.
Um,
It's a nightmare bat.
they
It's a
also
yeah.
have moan. Each creature within 60 feet of the cloaker that can hear its moan and isn't an aberration has to make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened. If a creature's saving throw is successful, the creature is immune to the cloaker's moan for the next 24 hours. Not anything crazy there. Then they have phantasms. The cloaker magically creates 3 illusory duplicates of itself if it isn't in bright light. The duplicates move with it and mimic its action, shifting position so as to make it impossible to track which cloaker is the real one. If the cloaker is ever in an area of bright light, the duplicates disappear. Whenever any creatures target the cloaker with an attack or a harmful spell while its duplicates remains, the creature rolls randomly to determine whether it targets the cloaker or one of the duplicates. A creature is unaffected by this magical effect if it can't see or if it relies on this other senses other than sight. A duplicate has the cloaker's AC and uses its saving throws. So like that's pretty
For
cool.
anime nerds, he just makes shadow clones,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He
yeah.
literally he needs shadows because he can't be in direct light, and he
Hmm.
just makes clones of himself and just Naruto's his ass out there to like make sure that you can't hit him. So it's good enough. It's as like putting this. Oh, you stumbled into its lair.
Hmm.
You its territory. It's smart enough where I feel almost like it can be not contracted or but like a minion, like like something I don't know, an aboleth
It could absolutely
sends one
serve
out
something
there.
else. Yeah.
Everything is just gonna like I know that there's like in the basic rules, beholder isn't one of the things. So if
Mhm.
we're just going off of what we have here, it seems like so far Aboleth is the top dog, right?
And
Uh
100%.
yeah, yeah.
And the cloaker would be like an Underdark type monster. Like this
Mm,
would be something you would find down there. So I could absolutely see like Dro using cloakers as like as part of a hunting party.
mhm.
If they like were able to make that alliance or if they captured them. But
Yeah.
yeah, they earned their names from the resemblance they bear to a dark leathery cloak. Lurking in remote dungeons and caves, these stealthy predators wait to slay lone or injured prey stumbling through the darkness, which in the Underdark is more common than not.
Yep.
They're camouflaged lurkers. So they fly through the darkness, lurks amongst the shadows of the caverns, same way a stingray glides through the water, hides on the ocean floor. Parallel rows of black eye spots run along its back like buttons, and the ivory-covered claws and its cowl resemble bone clasps. When a cloaker unfurls and moves to attack, it reveals its pale underside and makes its true nature evident. Red eyes glow above rows of sharp teeth, and a long, pendulous tail whips behind it. So these things actually like similar to like a mimic. If they are not moving, and they're just kind of sitting there, it would look like they were just a regular cloak that was like hanging on a hook or something like that. They are opportunistic predators. They have haunting moans and cloaker conclaves. Cloakers prefer isolation. Thank you for the subscription, C17R. Appreciate you. Cloakers prefer isolation, but they sometimes convene with other cloakers for defense or in exchange for information about new dangers, suitable hunting grounds, or developments that might affect their habitat. When this convergence is complete, the cloakers separate again,
Mm,
which is very cool. Um, they definitely have some very cool stuff here.
yes. Um, where would you put it for me? Because it is a monster at this point. Like
Hmm.
it can have some extra things that can bring it up, but the Chull have that like freedom of like the loot drop, and
Right.
it just has that direct tie to the Aboleth that kind of like by entourage makes it move up.
Hmm.
This one still feels like more of a B to me.
Yes.
What about you?
I am also on B for this one, I think.
Because of the predator aspect, the fact that it could be used as a material for an item,
Yeah.
because like it has a collaborative aspect. It's not
Hmm.
like, oh, it's not a mindless, it's not just a lion, you know what I
Right.
mean? So it's more than that. So that's why it's like the middle ground for me, and it's neutral, so it's kind of like maybe it can be
Yeah,
persuaded in some way.
it
Yeah,
definitely has like a society and stuff like that of like
yeah,
there's clearly stuff there.
yeah.
Um I don't think it has for a CR8. I don't think it has a lot of like craziness to it. I would expect more from like this does not seem like a CR8 to me.
Okay, yeah,
So I would go either C or B. I could go either way. I do like it. I think it's a very cool thing. So I would probably go B just on nature of like it's
yeah.
cool.
No, I see like the stat block alone is like, okay, this is this, and then it doesn't give you a lot more to bump it up.
Hmm.
So the whole materials aspect aside, I don't know if that's just me using like my brain experience to how could I bring it up?
Sure.
So you know what I mean. I could understand an argument for C
Hmm.
right now based off what we got. It's looking like a C,
Okay.
and it might move
I'm
down later on, but like that's where
I'm
I'm at right now. Yeah.
I'm down for a C right now.
Okay. Now for the wrong one. Okay.
The
Gibbering mouther.
gibbering
Okay.
mouthers are horrifying.
Do you want to know
Uh,
my first
this
experience with
thing
a
is a
gibbering mouther?
nightmare.
My first experience with a gibbering mouther is in the Great Sheep Chase.
Hmm.
Okay. In
You
that,
love that one shot.
I love the Great Sheep Chase. Yes. But in the end, it's you can try to turn the wizard back from being a sheep into a wizard, but if you get it wrong, if you fail the DC by more than a certain amount,
Hmm.
he turns into this.
Mm.
He turns into a gibbering mouther. And this is like I'm surprised that this is not an abomination, not abomination, a monstrosity, because
mhm.
this like the way it describes it, it's just something that's made wrong, it feels like,
Yeah.
because it definitely feels like a science experiment gone
Yeah,
completely
that's very
awry.
fair.
The vibe it gets from the picture and stuff like that, it makes the ground around it wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like the mouths babbling,
Yeah.
and it can like incapacitate them with its gibbering.
Yeah.
um
I mean, let's
that alone
let's
makes
break
it
this
feel
thing.
like, you know, yeah.
Let's break this thing down. Low armor class. Uh,
Easy to hit, it's squishy, it's just mouths and
easy
eyes
easy to hit.
and goo. Yeah.
It has a walking speed of 10 feet, a swim speed of 10 feet, which
Yep.
this thing in the water seems terrifying. Um,
Yeah.
the ground in a 10-foot radius around the Mouther is doe-like difficult terrain. Each creature that starts its turn in the area has to make a strength saving throw or have its speed reduced to 0 until the start of its next turn. The gibbering is the part that is very
Yep.
upsetting for me. The
Yeah.
Mouther babbles incoherently while it can see any creature and isn't incapacitated. Each creature that starts its turn within 20 feet of the Mouther and can hear the gibbering mouth succeeds on a DC 10 wisdom, or must succeed on a DC 10 wisdom saving throw. On a failure, the creature can't take reactions until the start of its next turn and rolls a D8 to determine what it does during its turn. On a 1 to 4, the creature does nothing. On a 5 or 6, the creature takes no action or bonus action and uses all of its movement to move in a randomly determined direction. On a 7 or 8, the creature makes a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach, or does nothing if it can't make such an attack. They
It's just
have,
wrong.
yeah,
It's just, yeah, it's just,
yeah.
it drives you insane. It
Mm-hmm.
just makes you go like, it's just unsettling.
It has bite attack. If the target is medium or smaller, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone, which is weird for a bite attack in my opinion. If the target is killed in this by this damage, it is absorbed into the Mouther. Horrible. Blinding spittle. The Mouther spits a chemical glob at a point it can see within 15 feet of it. The glob explodes in a blinding flash of light on impact. Each creature within 5 feet of the flash must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be blinded until the Mouther's next turn.
Oh my god. Oh my
Um,
god. I just read the first line, and I don't know why this isn't a monstrosity, but it
I
it
feel like the definition
oh,
for monstrosity must be different than what we're envisioning being.
I guess, but like, of all the terrors created by foul sorcery, gibbering mouthers are among the most wicked and
Wicked and
depraved. So,
depraved.
so this is like, this is saying it was created by something. So
Yeah,
this is, I'm thinking that it was created. So maybe the definition of it's created is whatever. It has to go into that realm of unsettling wrongness
yeah,
that makes it an aberration.
yeah,
This creature is the composite eyes, mouth, and liquefied matter of its former
yeah,
victims, tormented by the destruction of their bodies and absorption into the mouth, or those victims gibber incoherently and are forced to consume everything in their reach.
yep.
They're still there.
They're still
They're
there.
still a
Yep.
part of it.
Oh man.
Imagine a gibbering mouther. Well, I mean, literally, this. It's just what was something before it was a gibbering mouther,
Hmm.
and it's like it's neutral. It's just going to consume and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
it is like when something goes horribly wrong or a punishment, or it's like it's just, ooh, oh my god. It is,
Yeah.
it is a repercussion monster to
Yeah.
me. To me, this is like, this is you done messed up
Yeah.
type of monster. It's not like a guard. Um, because even if you like go put it like, oh, this is gonna stand guard and keep something at bay, it was only because it was a trap that went off, and then that
Hmm.
first person set it, and then it's gonna snowball.
Hmm.
But it's, oh man, it's just, yeah, its abilities just kind of go snowball from there. Um, Stat block
Yeah.
alone, I would have been like, okay, B, and then that aspect of it could be a trap. It could, it's because it doesn't have to be something I have to place anywhere. It's
Yeah.
like a back pocket monster that can be a repercussion monster.
Hmm.
That's what brings it up for me. So
Yeah.
where would you put this thing? Because for me, it's definitely like an A because of the, I could plop it anywhere if I need it type of thing.
Yes.
It doesn't need the lore aspect. It gives me the utility
Yeah.
aspect that brings it up there.
So I'm I agree. A is the spot for that. Um, One thing that I'm noticing here,
Hmm.
um, it says it's like made up of its former victims, right?
Hmm.
And it says tormented by the destruction of their bodies and absorption into the mouth, or those victims gibber incoherently and are forced to consume everything in reach. So to me, that means they're not dead.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
a part of it.
absorbed into the one.
But
And
but you see,
if that is the case, that's horrifying.
that's
Um,
horrible. But I don't think they're. I think they are physically dead. But like it's like they are not when this thing isn't like a oh it's stuck in the goo thing. It's
mhm,
the because it becomes a part of you.
mhm.
So I hate saying it like this, but it's like when something's a part of this, they're unretrievable.
Yeah, no, their body is no longer able to be
But
uh
their soul
retrieved.
isn't retrievable either.
Right.
You can't
That's where I'm at as well,
you
because
can't resurrect these
because
things,
it
these people
specifically
anyway.
says that they are like that they are pulled in and like consumed by this thing, and then that they are still there,
Yeah, still
and they
there.
are gibbering incoherently and forced to consume, so they are still a
Hmm.
part of this thing now. Which to me immediately springs to mind, like I immediately start thinking of like quests.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
would love a like a quest where the party has been hired to hunt down and kill this thing, because like somebody's uh partner or friend or whatever was absorbed into this thing and then it got away, and so they are like, this thing needs to be destroyed because we can't bring him back until this thing has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Like that's such a death at a certain level becomes so trivial to adventurers,
Hmm.
that like having something that has the ability to prevent you from being brought back is a terrifying concept.
There's one thing that I would, and this is like one of those I have the idea of like, oh, this is how I would use it in a game or something
Hmm.
like that. Imagine if you're on a quest to stop a big bad. You're on like, you're on the hero's journey to do the big thing,
Hmm.
but you weren't the first ones to do it.
Sure.
Your group wasn't the first group, and mid campaign or towards the end, you fight the former party, and it's a gibbering mouther of
Hmm.
like them, like he punished them. But what I would do then is this is just them combined stuff like that. I would flavor wise, I would think of what or who has this thing consumed,
Hmm.
and we know they are there. We know that they're part of it. Are there any other remnants of that creature, that being, that
Yeah.
entity?
Yeah. Yeah.
And because they have a compulsion to just consume, could they use anything at their disposal? Like, so I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna let the wizard use all of its spell slots.
Right.
No, but could could I don't know, a paladin almost channel a smite through its attack or something
Sure.
like
Yeah.
that? Or like a bard use vicious mockery through the gibbering type of
Hmm.
thing, or like cutting words or something like that,
Yeah.
where it's like you can kind of start going into what has it eaten, what has it done, whatever,
Yeah,
and
because
could
it's a
in
part
that
of it.
thing.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's just like, and it's not like thinking, I don't know, how smart is it? Is it even smart? It's a
It's not
-4.
it's not super
Yeah.
smart.
So it's a reflexive, but
Right.
its wisdom is 0. So it's gonna have that preservation instinct of I just need to do what I need to. I need to use what I need to do the thing. I want to eat. I need to eat.
Hmm.
Uh, oh, I was a druid. I would spawn like a thorn whip in order to like get what I needed to. Does this
Hmm.
thing have a reach? No, it has a reach of 5. But if it ate a druid that could
Yeah.
transform and cast thorn whip, maybe it does get a one tentacle that looks like
Hmm.
an octopus or a bear or a thorn whip to give it
Hmm.
that extra 5 feet to pull it closer to its mouth. You
Yeah.
know,
I
Eh,
could very easily see this being something where early on in the campaign, like level
yep.
1 or 2, the party like meets a group of like higher level adventurers,
Mm-hmm.
and like is able to like interact with them and stuff like that. Maybe that group gives them like, oh man, you guys are just starting out. I remember when we were just starting out. Like I've still got
Yeah.
like some of my here, take this stuff. Like you like get them off on a good foot type of thing.
Yeah.
And like bond this group of adventurers to the party. Make sure that
Yeah.
the different adventurers have like
You're
things
messed
about
up.
them that are
Like
that
you're
are
basically like,
distinctive.
here's how you can hurt your players. Like
One
that's what
hundred
you're doing
percent,
right
yeah.
now. This is how you
And
can hurt
then
them.
have that party tell this group about the quest that they're on, and have them like go off to do it, leaving the party behind. And then later, once that party has leveled up quite a bit, have them receive that same quest, and like watch them be like, didn't wasn't that the same thing that like that other group said that they were going to do? And send them off on
Yeah.
this quest, and then have it be like this gibbering mouther that is essentially like an attack dog for something bigger, because the gibbering mouther is only a
Yeah.
CR2. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I
a
was gonna
gibbering
say
mouther is
like
not
yeah.
going to like isn't going to hold up to like a party of adventurers. But if it is the attack dog or like something else that then like feeds the bodies down to a gibbering
Yeah.
mouther, and so
Hmm.
then the gibbering mouther has like this other elements to it of the party that came here, like that would be very, very
And,
cool.
and I think this is how you could also like I think that you can also scale this thing up
Hmm.
without having to go too crazy
Yeah.
by doing the whole like who it took in type of thing,
Yeah.
because like let's just say oh yeah the tanky paladin party, you know what I mean, like so like
Hmm.
maybe this thing has a higher armor class than 9,
Yeah.
maybe because like it's recently absorbed a group of 5 paladins that are
Hmm.
all wearing plate, maybe because it just says
Yeah.
it absorbs them,
It
it doesn't say
absorbs
anything.
it. Yeah, so it doesn't mention the equipment or anything.
So you can,
I could
I think we
very
can go either
easily
way with that.
see I could very easily see this being something where it like takes in what makes it stronger. And so
That or this can be like a chull where it's like it takes things in and spits out the equipment and armor and
mhm.
magic items like sunflower seeds.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
takes it absorbed you. It's like almost like a gelatinous cube situation, but a
Hmm.
gelatinous cube is just digesting you for sustenance and then it's just going about its way. This thing had to eat you.
Yeah.
It needed to,
I
and now
I
you
love this
want it
thing.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is nuts, and it gives you that you can go a lot of different ways. It gives you that
Hmm.
freedom. You can go a bunch of different, like do a lot of different creative things with it. So for me, it's definitely like an A at lowest.
I'm feeling high A, like
Yeah,
move it in front of the chull.
yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, cool. The next one is the Nothic, which is a weird little dude. Nothics
Yes.
are medium aberrations. They speak undercommon. They have keen sight, so they have advantage on perception checks. They have a claw attack. They also have a rotting gaze.
Yep.
The Nothic targets one creature it can see within 30 feet of it. It has to make a Constitution saving throw or take 3d6 of necrotic damage. It also has this ability, which I think is very fun: Weird Insight.
Yeah.
The Nothic targets one creature it can see within 30 feet of it. That creature has to make a deception check against the Nothic's insight. If the Nothic wins, it magically learns one fact or secret about the target. The target automatically wins if it is immune to being charmed. That's
This is
hilarious.
one.
I love that.
This is one where it is it's neutral evil.
Hmm.
And I feel like this one is done a disservice by its stat block again, because I would see it
Yes.
and just look at it as a monster. I'm gonna see it and use that however I can.
Hmm.
If they just somehow included anything from its flavor text or made their stats reflect their flavor a little bit more, it's a monstrous creature with terrible talons and a great single eye. When driven to violence, it uses a horrific gaze to rot the flesh from its enemy's bones. And it's like,
Hmm.
okay, cool. But then
Cursed
what
Arcanus.
it's cursed arcanist, yeah, where
Yeah.
it's like rather than gaining the godlike supremacy they crave, some wizards who devote their lives to unearthing arcane secrets are reduced to creeping tormented monsters by a dark curse left behind by Vecna, a powerful Lich who, in some worlds, has transcended his undead existence to become a god of secrets. Nothics retain no awareness from their former selves,
Hmm.
skulking amid the shadows and haunting places rich in magical knowledge drawn by memories and impulses they can't quite understand.
So
They
good.
are wizards that have been turned into
Yep.
like little golem creatures.
They're wizards who reached too far, uh,
Correct.
in beyond the veil and got pulled in.
And they don't keep
Um,
any magic. So I was like, okay, I can understand they lose their spells. They can't cast
mhm,
their spells, but like there's no magical anything left. They lose their spells, like any magical ability. They get a weird insight. Cool, I guess. But there's no, I know, like me, a lot of people sometimes just look at the picture, just look at the
mhm,
stat block and stuff like that. So just going off of that, I would never know any of
yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
I would not know there's a Vecna tie-in I could
yeah.
use if I really wanted to.
Well, and then they have Dark Oracles, which talks about how they extract knowledge from other creatures. This grants them a unique understanding of secrets and forbidden lore, which they share for a price. A Nothic covets magic items, greedily accepting such gifts from creatures that seek out its knowledge. So you can also have like Nothics that have magic items, like powerful magic
Correct.
items. It's
Yeah.
just there and ready to go. They also have lurkers in magical places. They're notorious for infiltrating arcane academies and other places rich in magical learning. They are driven by the vague knowledge that there exists a method to reverse their condition. This isn't a clear sense of purpose, but rather an obsessive tug at the end of its mind. Some Nothics are clever enough to realize that this is merely part of the strange lesson for their folly, a false hope to drive them back to seek out more arcane secrets. Like,
It, it's like
so
if
cool.
it wasn't for the weird insight, like you wouldn't know that there was more to this little
Yes.
creepy dude.
If you look at
Um,
just the stat block,
if you were to,
there's
yeah,
hardly
exactly.
anything here.
Correct. And it's like this is one of the ones that even if you were like to look in the full monster manual, there's probably more than just like the little D&D Beyond like description that's there.
Hmm.
Because I know that was the case with some other monsters. I'll be like, where are you seeing this devil thing, or where are you seeing this thing? Because they go deeper in
Yeah,
other
yeah,
places. But like just going off this one, it is done a disservice. I would have put this instantly like in like a D, maybe C
stat
category.
block alone, it's a
Correct.
D class
Yeah.
creature. With the
The other
additional
stuff brings it
information,
up. Yeah.
I feel like high B.
I don't feel high B
Okay.
only because and that's only because the usability of it,
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
it's a
No,
lot of digging and stuff.
that's very fair.
It but not to negate that it doesn't exist. You can use that as
Hmm.
an NPC. You can, like, that's the thing. His stats aren't to the point where he's not a monster where you need to use him in a cave.
Right.
You can make him an NPC. You
Oh yeah.
can make him like roaming a
You
library
could
or trying to break
you
into a
could
library. Like
100% have like a Nothic shopkeeper or something like that if you wanted
yeah,
to.
a
Um,
Nothic, like, hey, can you go into that library and get me? There's a book I want. I don't know which one it is, but there's a book in there. I know I
mhm.
need it. Like something like
Yeah,
that. Like
you
it
can
doesn't have to be.
absolutely get quests from
It's
this.
evil. It's evil in that I want to rob a library, and I know, like, I don't care what I have to do, but I'm not gonna like the neutral evil one. It's like I'm not doing it for the sake of being mean. I'm doing
Right.
this because
Yeah.
I want it. I need to do it.
Hmm.
Like I don't want to kill any. I mean, I
Right.
will kill somebody if I
I'll
need
pay
to, but like I don't
these
want to.
adventurers to do it. That way I'm
Yeah,
stimulating the economy.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I mean. If you like, you don't have to kill anybody. If you do, I don't care. But like, you don't have to kill
Right.
anybody if you
I'm
don't
not
need
going
to.
to
But
be
do
mad.
whatever you got to do.
I'm not going to be mad if everyone is dead on the way.
Yeah,
But like that's your choice. I'm just hiring
get me
you to
the
get me a
get
book.
me get me the thing I need, please.
Yeah.
Like I just know I need it.
Okay, so
You'll
we want
know
to high C.
That's where I would go, only
Okay.
because like I feel we have to do more of the mental gymnastics to make this
Sure.
cooler,
As
but that's not fair to this
written,
thing,
there's not a ton
Correct.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
And now for the
okay.
one that I know the least about, Unterjunge.
Unterjunge, the Audiug.
Oh, there's way more stuff here than I would have thought. Like,
Audiugs are wild. So Audiugs are large
this looks
creatures.
like a chubby displacer beast.
It does a
Like
little
if
bit.
a bullet and a displacer beast got real drunk one
Uh-huh.
day and we're like, we should make a baby.
Uh yeah. So it it has limited telepathy. The only language it speaks is Audiog. It has limited telepathy. It can
Oh,
magically transmit simple messages and images to any creature within 120 feet of it that can understand a language. This form of telepathy doesn't allow the receiving creature to telepathically respond. Um, it
brilliant.
it makes 3 attacks, one with its bite and 2 with its tentacles. Its bite has the ability to poison people with a disease. Every 24 hours that elapse, the target must repeat the saving throw, reducing its hit point maximum by a D10 on a failure. This disease is cured on a success. The target dies if the disease reduces its hit point maximum to 10. The reduction to the target's hit points maximum lasts until the disease is cured. And then the
Woo.
tentacle has the ability to restrain. So that's fun. It also can do a tentacle slam. So it slams creature grappled by it into each other or a solid surface. Each creature has to make a Constitution saving throw or take bludgeoning damage and be stunned. On a successful save, they take half the bludgeoning damage and they aren't stunned. They are horrible. I love them dearly. Its eyes and nose are set along a vine-like stalk that snakes out of the top of its bloated body. 2 rubbery tentacles end in spiky leaf-like appendages that Otyugs use to shovel food into its gaping maw. It buries itself under mounds of like trash and stuff, leaving
Yeah.
only its sensory stalk exposed. When an edible creature happens by, its tentacles erupt from the filth and grab hold of it.
When an
Um,
edible creature, yeah.
yep. Um,
So it's like like I don't know, a squishy bullet, because bullets are like,
yeah,
it resembles a bullet. Bullets go
yeah.
underground, but bullets are like armored. This is squishy and it's got like sensory tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
So where how do you feel about this?
I mean, they're like there's not a whole lot here.
Yeah, the
They
bottom
dwell in
part where it's like,
stagnant swamps, the scent of graveyard, city sewers, village middens, and manure-filled animal pens attract them to civilized areas. They lack the concern for anything but food. Their nests sometimes accumulate a variety of treasure shed from their victims and mixed amongst the junk. They do have the one line at the bottom, symbiotic guardians.
yeah, yeah,
Sentient subterranean beings can coexist with Otyugs, employing them as garbage disposals. With such plentiful sustenance, Otyugs grow fat in their wallows, unmoved by their any other drive or desire. This sedentary gluttony makes them reliable guardians as long as it is fed and Otyug refrains from attacking other creatures. However, would-be Otyug masters can easily underestimate the quantity of waste carried and meat necessary to keep an Otyug from wandering off in search of more food. More than one trained Otyug has eaten its keeper after devouring all the waste in its wallow. Um,
I think a solid C. Just because I could think of like other things. Like this
yeah,
is like a, what monster do I need?
yeah,
What monster do I need to be the trained whatever the thing, or
hmm
what monster do they just need to pepper anywhere? So like it's not like dumb and useless,
yeah.
but there's nothing that screams like, I need this squishy squishy thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
When I was running Waterdeep, I had trained Udyugs in the sewers as like a waste disposal program
Yeah,
for
they're
Waterdeep.
not like garbage. Like
Yeah,
they eat garbage, but I'm not
but
like, yo, this monster sucks. But I'm
yeah,
just saying, like, compared to whatever else, it's not a hunter.
there's not
They
a whole lot of like super interesting like lore or
Mhm,
anything like that. There's nothing crazy. There's not a ton that you can do with them.
mhm.
So like uh, low C. But
Yeah,
then,
that's where I would
but
put
with
that.
a
Yeah.
with a low C, we've got Nothix Cloaker and Udyug all in C, and those don't
Oh, I
feel.
thought Cloaker was in B.
Oh, Cloaker's a B. Okay, let's move
I
Cloaker
don't
up to
know.
B.
Like I
I'm okay
I
with
was cool
Cloaker
with
and
either
B.
one. I
Um,
think that the hunter aspect and that's a little smarter, and
I think.
I don't know if I was using like the like its properties thing to
Mhm,
make it cooler too type thing. That's the only reason it's like it gave me more to like play with off the top.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Well, I don't think Nothic and Adiug should be on the same category, so that would bump Adiug down to D class.
Mm.
Because Nothic to me has more
That is
like
fair.
stuff that you can do with it.
I agree with it. I agree with. I think they both are lame in that the Adiog D in that it can be peppered. It's like it has its use case,
Right. You
but
can
you
use
put
an
it where you want,
Adiug in a bunch of
and
different places, but
and
a
the
Nothic
Nothic
has the ability to speak and stuff like that.
correct, and the Nothic based off of what's written is not great, but it has potential and it
Right.
can do this stuff. So it is
It
more
has
than
some
the
story
Adiog.
tie-ins and stuff
So
like that.
so I agree with this, and like both can be great and useful and the main thing in your story. So I'm not
Hmm.
like these. If you use these, you're stupid. Like no,
Right. Yeah.
but it's just compared to the Mouther and compared to the Albolith,
Right.
this is we have to make hard decisions right
Right.
here. We have
We
to go.
we have been
Where does
burdened
this
with this
go? Yes,
responsibility.
we picked this boulder up.
Uh
We are doing this.
that leaves us with our last one, with it, which is the spectator.
Yes.
Um, spectators are medium aberrations.
Its first sentence already says. Its first sentence of its description already
It's a
says.
lesser type of beholder. Yeah. They're beholders, but like they're diet beholders.
Yeah.
Like they're not like full beholder, but like if you want a beholder that is going to like be able to go up against like a lower level party, you want your party to be able to tackle a beholder earlier in the game, it's an easier one to use. Resembles a floating sphere with a gaping maw and a single gray eye, set with 4 eye stalks, so it only has the 4 eye beams on a spectator. It's a lesser beholder that is summoned from another plane of existence by a magical ritual. The components of which include 4 beholder eye stalks that are consumed by the ritual. Excuse me. The ritual's magic. Appropriately, a specter has 4 eye stalks, 2 of each side of its wide head, on the center of a 4-foot diameter body. They have some good abilities here. They can fly. Have deep speech, telepathy, undercommon. They have a bite attack. They have eye rays. Their eye rays are confusion, paralyzing, fear, and wounding. So none of the like really crazy ones of a beholder.
Mhm. Yeah.
Create food and water. They can also do. It magically creates enough food and water to sustain itself for 24 hours. I think that's just a fun little ability.
Mhm.
That like it never has to go hunting because it can just make food for itself.
Correct. Yeah.
Um, it does have a reaction here that I think is very cool. Spell reflection. If the spectator makes a successful saving throw against a spell or a spell attack misses it, the spectator can choose another creature, including the spellcaster he can see within 30 feet of it. The spell targets the chosen creature instead of the spectator. If the spell forced a saving throw, the chosen creature makes its own save. If the spell was an attack, the attack roll is re-rolled against the chosen creature. I think that's very cool.
I think that's cool. Yeah.
That is a lesser seen ability in monsters.
And it's a reaction. It's not a
Hmm.
legendary action, and they do get it back.
Yep.
So it's
They can just do it every round if they want to.
yeah. So I I I love it, and I hate that it is like just literally
Lesser beholder.
a lesser type of beholder.
Yeah.
Um because like it's just kind of like
Hmm.
the middle child. It's just like you're not. I mean, it's not a beholder, but it's kind of like a beholder. It's just like, can't I just be me?
Hmm.
Can't it has fun little bullets as well, but like it does essentially go into like it has like quirks.
Hmm.
And I can definitely see using like the create food and water as like a quirk. It's just like, I'm going to kill you, but first, would you like some hors d'oeuvres? It's just
uh,
like, is it
yeah.
poison? No, I want you well fed before I kill you. And it's just like, I think he's he's lawful neutral. Like it's like,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
they're
got
guardians.
rules. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are like beholder guard dogs.
Yeah.
There's one section here, erratic servants. Though it can speak, a spectator communicates predominantly by way of telepathy. It is civil while on guard, openly discussing its orders and its summoner. However, even a brief conversation with the spectator is enough to reveal quirks in its personality brought on by years of isolation. It might invent imaginary enemies, refer to itself in the third person, or try to adopt the voice of its summoner. Like any beholder, a spectator views itself as the epitome of its kind, and it has an intense hatred for other spectators. If two spectators encounter one another, they almost always fight to the death.
God, that just, oh man, this thing gets cooler. This thing gets so much cooler. Like
Anything
as
in the anything in the beholder realm is such a fun monster,
yeah.
because they always have these weird like quirks to them,
Yeah.
where one of the things I love about like beholder kind is that
Mhm.
beholders are almost always these like extremely like
Arrogant, like
arrogant
yeah.
narcissistic creatures that are like, I am the best thing that has ever existed.
Look
And
at me. Look at
also,
how round I am.
right. And because of that, they then have these really weird like quirks and flaws to them, which I think is so fun. Like one of the most famous beholders is Xanathar. Xanathar has a goldfish. He has a pet
Yep.
goldfish, and is obsessed with this goldfish, loves it more than anything else, to the point where they mentioned in Waterdeep Dragon Heist that the goldfish dies every once in a while, and they like his servants just replace it with a new goldfish. If the goldfish like is killed when Xanathar is around and he knows that the goldfish is dead, he loses his mind and just goes on this like terrible rampage because this thing has like something has
Water,
killed its most prized goldfish.
water
um
deep grew dark for 3 days, lamenting at the passing of this goldfish.
they hold a vigil.
Yeah.
um yeah.
So now here's the thing. I think that this bypasses C and D and NB. Now, is it is it S, or is it just better than the Chal and the Gibbering Mouther?
Oh man, I don't think I don't think it's S. If it was a full beholder is an S tier
Mhm,
monster. Full beholder
mhm.
is wild, it's incredible. I love a beholder. Um as it is, as it's just a spectator, I think it is a high A class.
I will go with high A, like tap dancing on S, only because of the quirkiness it gives you.
Yes.
That quirkiness where it's just like it can, and because they're neutral,
I do.
it can
That's
be
fair.
placed somewhere where it's not like, oh, it needs to be a monster using it
Mhm.
for this. It needs to be a beholder using it for this. It
That's
can
very fair.
be someone used it for where, so you
Yeah.
can put it wherever. And
A lawful neutral creature,
yeah,
it does make it more interesting. I had
yeah,
forgotten about that because that is
that-
like that is very much the sort of like, if it's a guard for a thing, a lawful neutral creature is the sort of creature that you are able to like talk your way past of
yeah,
like none can enter but the pure of heart, and it's like, well, I'm pure of heart, and it's like, well, then I'll ask you three riddles to like figure out if
yeah,
you're pure of heart, and then you just
yeah.
like go past.
Or
um
and then you can give it a quirk, and if it, like, I'm sure
mhm.
there's tables of quirks you could make it have,
Oh,
and it just
100%.
makes it so like no two spectators are gonna be the same. Or just imagine there's two doors, and you're like, the other spectator said that I can go in here. It's like, no, you can't do that. And it's just like, well, do you want to talk to him? And then they have to fight to the death because they hate each
Oh
other.
my goodness.
And if they see each other, they got to fight to the death. And you can now go through either door because you just made them fight to the death. Like it just,
Imagine a like the two door like guard problem, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Both of them have a spectator that's guarding it, but both of the spectators are like in like some sort of cage thing,
yeah,
so they
yeah,
can't actually get out. And so you can either like receive the riddle from either one, but they hate each other.
Correct.
They're so infuriated by the fact that
One
they are
one
that they
can't
are
lie,
here.
one can't lie, one tells truth, but they're both like, I hate that guy.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, they're like yeah, there's so many things you could do with it. With it being lawful neutral,
mhm.
it was a very high A class. I am okay moving it to an S tier. Um in
It satisfies all those requirements of like has
yeah,
crazy stat block, looks nuts,
has good
and I
stats,
can
looks
use it
cool,
wherever and however,
versatility, fun quirks, good lore. Like
Yeah,
there's all of the marks of an S tier. It just feels weird to have it and the Aboleth
correct. And
on the same
I complete.
spot.
Well, but you know what? That's what we did with I think it was like was it
The violet
Celestial?
fungus.
Well, that and it was the other one. Whereas, was it Celestials? Where it wasn't Celestials. Whichever one we had the fire newt.
Oh
Elementals.
man.
Well, Elementals where it was just like we had ones that were like god tiers that
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
lower, and the ones that were there like lackeys, like you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like the ones that were just blacksmiths. We ended up putting them up higher because we could use those more. You know what I mean? It's like great stat block, and it gave us a bunch of things we can do.
Yeah, Celestials, we had unicorns and coatls as the S tier,
Yeah.
followed by planetars,
Yeah.
Devas, Solars, and Pegasus down at the bottom.
Yeah. So and
So
solars are like what didn't we say like there's only 7 of
yeah,
them and
yeah,
it's
and we
just
decided
like
they were the least interesting.
yeah, it's just like there's only
Yeah,
70. What am I gonna do with you?
yeah.
Like, no.
It's so difficult to use you in anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so that would put us at Aboleth and
Hmm.
Spectator, sorry, on the S tier.
Hmm.
Followed by Gibbering Mouther and Chull in A,
Hmm.
a Cloaker as the B tier, Nothic in C, Audiog in D, and that is our list.
And I
Weirdly,
will say that
it almost follows alphabetically, because it's Aboleth in S, and then Chull in A, and then Cloaker in B, and then Nothic in C, and then Odiug in D. The only ones that are out of order are Gibbering Mouther and Spectator.
I will say that Chull, the only reason it is higher is
Hmm.
because it has those
It's the
like
lore.
those story aspects and
Yeah,
the mechanic, the treasure mechanic.
yeah.
Where even if you want to ignore, I don't want to use aboleths, I don't want to
Hmm.
use any other. My ancient evil is a panda that's gained sentience. Like if
Yeah.
you wanted to go like this
Who
has
hasn't run that
nothing to
game?
do with it, yeah. If you want to go like this has nothing to do with it, I just want to give them treasure, and I don't have a shop I can drop on them. Drop some sort of random ruin, make some chull, just have some things there that they've like stored hidey hold away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A chull carcass and some magic items. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it's dead now, but it's still stored. You found a little like where like it stored some treasure for the winter. Like
Yeah.
it makes it go up.
I feel good about this order.
Yeah, same here.
Like I feel like both of us would have like I wish this one was a little higher, I wish this one was a little lower,
Little
but
little
like
tweaks or and some things are just like it could just be the way it's written right here. If it was
right,
presented in another place, there's more just going off of the bare minimum we have at the
right.
moment. This is kind of where
We
we're leaning.
both of
Yeah.
us always have our like our rankings of where we
Yeah,
would
yeah,
put
yeah,
them,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then there's the like coming together and
Yeah.
going over them. What do we think they are when presented together?
Gibbering Mouther
Um
is an S for me because of the punishment aspect of it. Like
it is it
the
is wild.
nightmare
Yeah.
fuel that is and I didn't even think about the using the things that it's absorbed.
Hmm.
I've only ever thought of it as like it's something that's gone wrong
Yeah.
type of thing.
Well,
So
I could absolutely see like you have a druid or something like that. I could see like a like this fleshy bear head coming out
yeah, oh
and like
god, yeah.
attacking. Yeah.
Like just it's gonna use whatever it can
Yeah.
and it could do this and it's a part, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
but yeah.
There's we came up with a lot of like random quest hooks in this one.
Oh
I feel like
gosh, yeah.
we always pitch a couple. I feel like every monster on this list we had
Had
a
quest
like
hooks,
a
yeah.
quest
This
hook for it.
yeah. And
Um
that was what I thought would happen when I was just like, I know that there is one, two, maybe three that like have stuff going on, but
hmm
like I was like, we're going to find things in the other ones
Yeah.
that are going to be like, so
No, aberrations are incredible. Like they're so much fun.
yeah. And if we were to
Um,
expand it beyond basic rules,
oh my
there's
goodness, there's
so much. Yeah.
insane ones. Like some of my like I've already said the Beholders is one of my favorites. But like there's so many good monsters
Oh
in
yeah.
aberrations. Like let's see here, just flip through here real quick. Like the choker, the beholder, the sloths. Oh my goodness, we could get into
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
a whole thing about sloths. Like there's so many, and there's so many different variations on
Yeah.
like beholders and stuff like that. You've got the elder brain for the mind flares. Like
Oh my god.
all of
So
those
many
are
pages. There's a
all of those are
lot of pages.
aberrations. There are 7 pages of aberrations. Outside of the basic rules. So there's a ton of them out there. All that to say, if you've never looked into aberrations, look into them. They're
Do it.
crazy.
Do it. We dare you.
Love an aberration. Okay.
All right.
I think that wraps us
We
up.
did
Yeah.
it. We did it.
All good.
Yep. All right.
Junie,
Yes.
I would like you to take our 3 calls to action this week.
Okay. All right. So, oh man, that's gonna be weird because it's aberrations. All right. So, one, uh, uh, do something weird, but harmless. Like have
Okay.
like display a weird quirk, to someone and catch them off guard and make them
hmm
go like what? So
Like
you
just
know, just
have
have
just have an English accent all day, or
yeah, you
like
know what I mean.
uh
Just for funsies. Sometimes do a little fun thing for you. Why not?
start winking at people at the end of sentences that don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, hold the door for someone that's not there. And then you go,
Start addressing an
uh,
imaginary friend this week.
yes, yeah. To clean out your damn email inbox. You got a number there? You got a bunch of unreads? Take care of that.
I feel called out.
Damn it. I wasn't towards I was looking at myself when I said that. And 3, if you haven't already, watch tomorrow on Sweet Rosie B's channel, Silver and the
Yeah,
Stars. We're doing a Pirate Borg
dude, it's so much fun.
mini series. I play a Oliver Naxton, a a crazy writer man, a
hmm
human that's just trying to write a story, and everybody plays normal people that are totally normal.
Yeah.
There was somebody that lost a lot of legs last week. Yeah, I
Yeah,
also
go
I
watch
also had
go watch the
the
episode
first
from last week, and
yes.
then join us live tomorrow night for the show.
Yeah,
Uh
I had to ask my character had to ask, did I lick us into a new time and space?
yep, that's the
It's
thing
an
you
actual
said.
quote.
Yep.
Yeah, I said that. Also,
Uh
Bakugan. There was
n-
I brought Bakugan somehow into this. I
yeah,
hated that, but I did.
my character is making people sad and feel bad for a terrifying rock man.
Yeah,
So that's fun.
that was
Uh
unexpected.
it was for me too. Like I knew he was kind of a sad boy. I didn't anticipate like session 1 being like, let me just pull on those heartstrings a little bit.
What does it
Like
mean to feel? It's like whoa. And then I asked somebody to lick a rock.
yeah.
So yeah,
There's that. Awesome. Yeah, join us over on Rosie's channel. That's and I think Rosie's in the chat, so she can confirm this. But I believe that is 7 o'clock p.m. is when we go live tomorrow, and that's Eastern time. So 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and we will be live over on Rosie's channel. Link is in the chat. Otherwise, have a great rest of your week. And Rosie confirmed, yes, it is 7 o'clock. So I got it right.
Woo!
Otherwise, have a great rest of your week. Tweet at me, let me know what character you're playing in Baldur's Gate.
It's X. You got X at you. You got
No,
X
I
you.
refuse.
Got an X at you. X
M-
gonna give it to you.
message Junie and let him know your favorite moment from Baldur's Gate, but give him no context on what that moment was. And
You
just
evil son of a bitch.
just let him know. Okay, we will see you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, we will be back on Friday for more of this nonsense. I did
You said
notice
tomorrow, and I was like, "Oh shit, we're just going straight into it tomorrow."
the on
Oh, man.
Rosie's channel will be live tomorrow.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll be back here on Friday. For the show on Friday, Junie, to end on a little bit of a little bit of a hook here. I noticed when I was going back through our different episodes, when I was looking for how long has it been since we did one of the monster rankings. The last one that we did was the one where we were talking about like companions, both like animal and otherwise, and it ended up being just animals that we talked about last time, and we were like, we'll
that's
talk about
right,
companions
yeah.
next time.
Okay.
So we could do
Companionship.
we could do that on Friday. Otherwise, we could do another one of the monsters if we wanted to, or we could do something completely different. But we did promise we would come back to talk about companions at some point.
That's fair.
Do
Yep.
you have a preference on which one?
On what?
On
What do you
what
mean?
on what we talk about for Friday?
Let's do companions. Yeah,
Okay,
we've
awesome.
been ranking stuff. We'll rank companions, and
We'll have a quick conversation about the best companions in Baldur's Gate, and then we'll
I'll
dive
have so
into
many opinions. I'll have so many strong opinions.
we'll talk about companions in your RPGs, and
I
like
googled.
henchmen and sidekicks and hirelings and allies and all of that. We'll dive in.
I googled all the companions in Baldur's Gate, and I will now rank them based off of my superficial lack of knowledge. I don't like this one's face. This one looks left-handed. This guy looks like he's keeping too many secrets. This person, I bet they smell nice. I bet they smell nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Based on the things you just said, I feel like I could rank them into what you just said, and figure out
Those
what
are the
you
categories.
did.
Left-handed.
Those are the
smells
categories.
good,
Yeah,
Don't trust them. Okay.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
so we'll start Friday with revealing the rankings of the Baldur's Gate NPCs based on those things, and then we'll dive into companions. So
Okay.
have a great rest of your week, everybody. Remember to embrace the nonsense, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.